Hi everyone and welcome to this yoga flow for sleep. If you're new to the channel and you haven't practiced with me before, I'm Rosie. I'm a VINYASAFLOW and yin teacher. It's really lovely to have you here for this practice. Before we get started, you might want to grab hold of any props that you might regularly use, so blocks or bolsters. If you haven't got any of those, maybe just some cushions. And we're going to get started lying down on our backs. So feeling free to come down when you're ready. And just taking the legs out long to start. If you're someone that finds having a bolster underneath the knees at the start of practice helps, feel free to go there as well. And just aiming to get ourselves as comfortable as possible as we start to settle. So just ask yourself as you come to rest, if you could make yourself just 10% more comfortable here, what would you do? And it might be just as simple as lifting up the shoulders and placing them back down. Maybe moving the hands onto the belly, onto the chest, or having the hands, palms facing up towards the ceiling, wherever works for you. And take any wiggles that you might need before we start to settle into this stillness. And as we start, just taking that attention, that awareness in towards the breath. So just noticing. Might be helpful, in fact, to have the hands maybe on the belly or on the heart space. So is that breath deep? Is it shallow? Is it residing down towards the belly? Maybe it's a little bit higher up in the chest. So at the start of practice, we're just asking ourselves to be aware of where that breath resides and how that breath feels. So really just throughout our practice, always asking ourselves these questions. And with every inhale we take here, just noticing that breath starting to flow through the body. So it's moving all the way from the crown of the head down to the outermost edges, so tips of the fingers, toes. And as we exhale with every breath, just seeing if we can sink the body that little bit deeper down towards the earth, finding that release. So just starting here, everybody, by inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. And then when you're ready, eventually, wherever you are, just gentle wiggles through toes and fingertips. And drawing those knees slowly in towards the chest. You can rest the hands onto the knees and just noticing the grounding of the lower spine, lumbar spine down towards the mat. Maybe you take a few rocks from side to side here and then just take the legs up towards the air. And from here, just noticing, starting to wake up the body, noticing how the body's feeling. You might take the arms up into the air as well and just take circles with the ankles, with the wrists. Maybe you point the toes and then flex through the feet. So we're just ever so gently starting to wake that body up, coming into gentle movement. So there's no right, there's no wrong here. You might still have the eyes closed. Maybe you take a stretch overhead, as if you're waking up first thing in the morning. And then just drawing feet down towards the mat and opening the knees out to either side, resting the hands on the belly or the thighs. So just coming into a Supta Baddha Konasana. So as we arrive here in this moment of stillness, just starting to ask how the body feels. So sending that breath down towards the hips. How does the body feel? Asking yourself that question. Is it in need of that extra bit of care today, that extra bit of love? Are we taking things softly? So always a good question to just ask at the start of practice. How is the body feeling? And we allow whatever the answer is to that question to form our practice. So maybe if the body is feeling a little bit sluggish, a little bit tired today, we take everything easy. We make sure we're pausing when we need to. When we're ready, gently using those hands, drawing knees back together, drawing them back in towards the chest, and slowly hands behind the knees, just starting to rock forwards and backwards, noticing spine against the mat, hopefully not knocking into any furniture, and then coming up towards a seated position, just cross-legged, whichever way feels most comfortable. Eyes can still be closed here. I'm just dropping the chin down through the chest. And as we start to inhale, taking the right ear around to the right shoulder. As we exhale, dropping chin back down through center. Inhale, left ear coming up to left shoulder. So waking up through the lower body, through the hips, through the legs. Just starting to wake up through the upper body now as well. Might be that the head goes all the way back, so we open up through the throat. Taking the head all the way around, finding these circles. If you're taking the full circles, just making sure we go in both directions. So when you come back down through center, just going the other way. And the next inhale that we find, just starting to sweep those arms up above the head. Drawing hands down through heart center and Jali Mudra, palms pushed together. Taking those hands down towards the mat. We're going to come into a forward fold here. So just padding the hands forward as far as feels comfortable. Might be that you take a block or a cushion underneath the seat if you find that helpful to give you a little bit more of a lift. It might be that you come down onto the forearms, or maybe you're up on the fingertips. So closing down through the eyes, you can keep the back nice and straight. There's no need to curl and round here. We want this idea of the body moving forwards, not down. So just using the hands to keep you up. Eyes can still be closed. And just taking that second to notice again the legs, the glutes. Asking that question again, how does everything feel here? Taking a nice breath in. As we exhale gently, just peeling those hands back towards you, straightening through the back. Taking left hand down to the side, and as we inhale, peeling that right arm up and over, so just coming into a side stretch. Taking that gaze or drishti up towards the right hand. So we're feeling that opening here through the right side of the body, all the way down through the arm, down into the torso. Might be that you're up on the left fingertips, might be that you're down on the left forearm. So really whatever works for you. Always exploring, finding where each of the asanas works for your body. Taking a big inhale as we exhale, just coming back up through center. So we inhale, right arm coming down, left arm coming over, just taking the other side. Again, gaze up towards that left hand. So we're opening through the chest. Nice big stretch, opening through the left side of the body. Inhale here. Exhale, just drawing back up through center. And then gently taking those hands out in front, just starting to uncross the legs and coming into a tabletop position. So we're stacking the shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. From here, just starting with some gentle cat-cow. So as we inhale, dropping through the belly, lifting through the chest, taking that gaze forwards. As we exhale, rounding through the back, allowing the head to hang heavy. So just taking a few of these. Moving at the speed of your own breath, so there's absolutely no rush here, just taking your time. Finding that fluidity. And then when we next come back through neutral, just tucking under all of the toes, and we're going to push down through the hands. So we're grounding, planting through the fingertips, really pushing down, finding that connection with the mat, and just stretching out through the back of the feet. Staying with the breath wherever you are. And then from here, slowly starting to lift the knees, lift the hips, drawing them up and back, coming into a downward facing dog. So first one of the practice, maybe first one of the day. Taking a good wiggle out through the feet, pushing down through the toes. Might be that you even pick the hands up, place them back down. So we want to try and find hands shoulder distance apart, feet hip distance apart. And from here, as we inhale, just coming up onto the toes, as we exhale, drawing the heels down. They don't have to reach the mat, it's just an idea of where they're going. So taking two more, inhale to just come up. Exhale to ground down, so we're rooting. One more inhale. Exhale, grounding down.
And the next time we ground, starting to tiptoe those feet towards the front of the mat, taking a really nice generous bend with the knees and stepping the feet out to the side slightly, dropping the hips down. We're going to come into Malasana Swan Yogic Squat and just taking the movement from side to side here. Fingertips down on the mats. It might be that you're up on the toes, maybe you're down on the heels. You might take a block or a cushion underneath for some support. Just taking a pause here. And as we inhale, we're going to start to peel that right arm up towards the sky, just taking the gaze up towards the hand. Exhale, just tapping it back towards the left hand. So just taking 2 more of these. Inhale, peeling open through the chest. Exhale, drawing back. Inhale, peel open. Exhale, draw back. And then taking the other side, so right hand comes down. As we inhale, that left arm peels up towards the sky. Exhale, drawing it back. Just taking 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then taking those hands back towards center. Taking the weight into the hands, lifting up through the hips, drawing those feet back to hip distance. Again, nice generous bend through the knees, hands come to opposite elbows, allow the head to hang heavy. Uttanasana, just taking a moment in our forward fold. You might close the eyes, just rocking the weight into the front of the feet, balls of the feet, really releasing the head. So if you find yourself looking at the toes, just allowing that gaze drishti to go in between the legs, really allowing head to hang heavy. From this forward fold, next inhale that we find, just sweeping those arms up towards the sky. So we're coming into an Urdhva, gazing up towards the hands. Exhale, hands come down through heart center, and Jali Mudra, palms really push together. As we inhale next, taking the left hand down towards the left thigh, sweeping the right arm up and over and taking that gaze up towards the right hand. So the left hand is going to kind of slide down towards the thigh as we come into this side stretch. Nice long line down through the arms, through the torso. Inhaling here. Exhale, pulling back up through center. Right hand comes down to find the right thigh. We inhale, left arm comes up and over. Again, taking that gaze up towards the hand, allowing that right hand to slide down the thigh. Taking a nice big inhale here. Exhale, drawing back up. We inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, soft cascade down, forward fold, nice bend through the knees. From here, taking the hands down, just stepping the feet back. So we're coming back into that downward facing dog. Taking a nice pedal out through the feet again. And then drawing knees down towards the mat, untucking toes, and we're going to come back to this kneeling position. And just coming into a gentle twist. Left hand is going to go towards the right knee, right hand behind us as we inhale, lifting up, finding some length. As we exhale, finding that twist, maybe taking the gaze behind. Staying with that breath. Every inhale, finding that length. Every exhale, twisting maybe that little bit deeper. One more inhale here. Exhale, release. Just taking both of the hands around to the left and pushing down towards the mat. So we're just finding a counter twist. Inhale, back up through center. Right hand this time comes to the left knee. We inhale, find the lift. Left fingertips behind us. Exhale, find the twist. And just staying with the breath here. One more inhale. Exhale, ever so gently releasing, coming back round through center, taking hands down either side, and just taking the legs out long. And we're going to come into a Paschimottanasana, but for this one, it's going to be more similar to a yin hold. So instead of keeping everything active, instead of flexing through the feet, just taking a really nice wiggle through the feet, through the ankles, and allowing the feet to fall wherever feels natural. And if you've got a pillow or a cushion or a bolster, now might be the time to find it. We want to take something down onto the legs for some support. And it might be that you've got a cushion and then you've got a block on top. It might be that you even take the bolster this way onto the mat for support for the head. So whatever feels like it's working best for you. Inhale, just drawing those arms up above the head. Exhale, allowing the back to really round and drawing the head down. And just pausing here. So instead of keeping those legs super active and sort of flexing through the feet, just actively checking through the body, noticing if anything feels like it's switched on. And we just want to find that release, let go. So for example, my hands here on my ankles for a second felt like they were kind of working, they were reaching for each other. I'm just going to let them fall either side of the ankles. So we're really allowing the body to just start to shut down. Allowing the body to find that moment of rest. You should feel just a gentle tug here through the back of the legs, back of the hamstrings. And just staying with the breath, finding that moment to pause. And it might be that in these moments of stillness that the mind starts to become busy. Just knowing that that's completely normal as soon as we start to slow down through the body. Always just being aware. Noticing each inhale, each exhale. Now I invite you here for the next few moments of class to see if you can keep your eyes closed. So the next section of class is going to be a repetition really of what we did at the start. And we're just creating that circular practice, so noticing if the body feels any different this time. So on the next inhale, if you can, keeping the eyes closed, gently just peering up, removing any props that you might have, using the hands to help you just come back down towards the back. And again, drawing those knees in towards the chest, taking a rock here, side to side. Lower back, lumbar spine grounding. And then again, just taking those legs up into the air. So soles of the feet towards the ceiling. And it might be again that you take the arms up as well, or maybe it's just the legs, and just taking circles through wrists, through the ankles, toes, fingertips. We're not worried about how this looks, just how it feels. And then taking soles of the feet down towards the mat. Again, allowing knees to drop out towards the side, Supta Baddha Konasana. Hands rested on the belly or on the thighs. And just coming back to the breath again, sending that breath down towards the hips, down towards the legs. And just noticing if the body feels any different here. Does it feel any different from the start of practice? Being aware, it might be that the body feels exactly the same, that the breath feels exactly the same. So just being aware of the fact that we're not trying to change anything throughout our practice. It's enough that you found the time to come to the mat, that you found the time to just be present with yourself, to take a moment to switch off. So you might even want to just congratulate yourself for finding that time today. When we're ready, using hands to just draw those knees back in, and then just taking the legs out long, pausing, hands either side of the body, palms up towards the sky. You might grab a blanket to pop over you if that feels like the right thing at this moment. And just allowing everything to be still, body to be heavy. Inhale, breathing in. Exhale, we sink down towards the mat. So our Shavasana is our time to relax, to reset, to restore. There's nothing to do here, there's nowhere to be. If you need longer here, feeling free to take it. If you're ready to start to come towards the end of practice. Just again, same way we did at the start, allowing those wiggles to start to move through, gentle movement through hands, through feet. And then just rolling over onto one side when you're ready, keeping those eyes closed. Taking a few breaths here, it might be that you wrap those knees up towards the chest. And then slowly, no rush, just using those hands to help you come up towards seated. Any position that feels comfortable for you, hands rested on the knees. And chin can be dropped down through chest. Just take a wiggle through the shoulders as we start to come back. And we just take a moment of gratitude here. So we say thank you to ourselves for finding the time to come to the mat. And we also thank the amazing lineage of teachers that have come before us. Taking a nice inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And then slowly fluttering open eyes, just coming back to the space, back to the room. Thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. I hope this is a practice that really does help with your sleep. It's a really nice one to do with that repetition kind of at the start and the beginning. So you've got that movement in between to kind of start to stretch out the body and feel that little bit more tired. And then we go back to kind of a repetition of something that we've already done, which helps, calm the mind down that little bit more. If you did like the class, please give it a like. Please subscribe to the channel. There are going to be new classes every week. And other than that, I hope you have a lovely rest of the day.